Good morning, magical experimenters. It's a beautiful Monday morning out, and I thought I would do a quick video on how to raise energy and intention. I've been thinking about it quite a bit, and one of the reasons I've been thinking about it is because I've been engaged in an experiment of sorts around that, where I've basically been raising energy and intention about the way that I show up for different communities and relationships, and really examining like what it's like to go slow in all of those situations, to take my time. In the past, I would say that I have sometimes rushed into things, and when you do something long enough and you figure out that it doesn't work, that you're just making the same mistake again and again and again in some form or manner, it teaches you a lot about like what you can change and what maybe you ought to change. And so I think there's a significance to that. And I mean, in my magical practice, one of the things that I've done over time is I have changed my approach to magical workings. What I've done is I've changed the way that I think about magic to focus on a more long term approach. I think that one of the problems that I see in the magical community is a tendency for gratification, uh, instant gratification. So people do a lot of short-term magical work and want things to happen right now without recognizing that it takes time for things to happen, and that sometimes what doesn't seem to be happening in the moment could be you could actually be planting the seeds for it to happen down the line. And of course, sometimes it just doesn't happen, and there's a that at that point you have to do some troubleshooting around your magic work and figure that out. I have a video on my Patreon where I actually talk about that at the Magical Secret tier. So if you're interested in that, check it out by joining my Patreon. Um, so I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and then it's been interesting because in the different communities that I've been part of and the different interactions I've been having, I've been applying the same thing. Like, so for example, I joined a kung fu. I started going for qigong at a kung fu studio. So I'd go on Monday nights, and I started this back in December. But I couldn't go on Wednesdays for the training or Fridays. I just had other things going on, and I had some commitments going on. And I told the instructor that, and I could tell he wanted me to start right away, but he was patient, and I just told him, I'll start in March. Like, just wait. And it was good for me because it allowed me to get to know that space and get to know that community and set intention over time. And then this last week, I went for my first actual kung fu lesson, and it was a lot of fun. And I felt the energy there, but it felt like instead of me pushing into it too quickly, that I was actually just right. And it helped me realize that in the past, one of the things I've done is I've rushed into things, whether it's been romantic relationships or community relationships or friendships or whatever. I've rushed into things. And when I take things slower and allow for a slower buildup, it actually creates a healthier dynamic for the relationships that occur. I got to know the people at that kung fu studio over time. I started developing friendships and getting to know them, and it wasn't, gradually the intimate connections deepened over time. I got to know these people better, and cared for them more, and connected with them in a deeper way. And I think that that's really an important lesson there. I reflect on this in the same way in regards to several other communities that I've joined in on, that, when I take my time and get to know people and allow for the gradual deepening of a relationship, it becomes pure and there is more intention and energy behind it. So I think this is something that's worth examining in your own magical practice. How do I slow things down? How do I bring awareness and attention to what I'm doing, and what can I do to really celebrate and honor myself and honor my approach to relationship, and how can I do it in a way that honors the other person or people or community. So you know, I'm doing it in a way that really is significant. When we take our time to build things up, we get a better result. And I'm gonna do something here because I have to go to work here in the next few minutes. So I'm gonna just start my work computer, and so you may see that. Thank you. I'm glad that you like that book. It is a great book. I'm proud of it. So I mean, when I look at my magical work and I look at the way that I approach my life, I really look at it from a place of perspective. All right, give me 1 second here. I normally don't do videos like this in the morning, but I was like, oh, I wanna start the day doing one of these videos because it's a nice opportunity to do that. So I'm glad that I'm getting to. So I think that what I've really been discovering is this really amazing depth as a result of taking things slower. And it's interesting because I've applied this in every area of my life, and what I found is that by applying it to every area of my life, and not easily I might add, but applying it is helping me. Like I'm right now I'm in the process of starting up my coaching business, and I've realized that I'm just going to do one thing here real quick. Get logged in. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, I know. Kind of the reality of having to work for someone else. Boom. All right, there we go. Anyway, um, what I've recognized is that when I've rushed into things in the past, I've wanted that instantaneous results myself. And I mean, I've seen that with some of the business endeavors that I've done. And so lately, like with my new coaching practice, I'm really just taking my time. I'm working on things gradually. I mean, I started the business up in January. I didn't know exactly what I was going to be coaching on. Eventually, I just figured it out that I wanted to do men's coaching. I want to coach men and work with them. So, I've started developing that, and I'm starting to developing the marketing and everything else. It's taking some time. I mean, I'm a little over halfway through March. Happy equinox, by the way. And it's taking some time, and it's going to take some time, and I'm just accepting and honoring that, because I realize the more I try to push through things and make it happen like faster, then I'm rushing things and I'm not paying attention to the details that need to be paid attention to in order to help me accomplish my goals. So I think that that's something that's worth reflecting on and considering in your own approach to magic. What can you do? And in life, what can you do to slow down, to build the energy up, to raise intention, and gradually put things into place so that you have a good foundation. And I'm not tied, at the same time, you don't want to go so slow that you never get anything done. I mean, that's not doing going anywhere. So I am, like in the case of my business, the new coaching, I am getting things done. Like I'm working right now on on an e-booklet that I'm going to put out there, as a way to hopefully start connecting with men and getting free strategy sessions set up and things like that. So, I mean, there are things that are happening. I'm going to start developing an online course of sorts, a free offering, or maybe like a paid offering, to help people work through some things. So there are some different things that I'm involved in, but all of it is really helping me recognize the importance of doing this work and doing it with intention and raising energy instead of it being in a rush. And I wanted to share that with you today. So that way it's something that you can think about and apply in your own magical practice. So what do you think? What have you done to raise intention? What have you done to build things up? What have you and how have you applied that not just to your magic, but to your everyday life? I'd love to read some comments about that and hear your thoughts. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.